Hey, what's up? It's Randy and welcome back to another video. Today we're checking out the U4 in-ear wireless system from Xvive. Let's dive into the U4 here and we'll take a look at what comes in the box. So inside the box, you get some documentation. You get a really handy 1/4 inch to XLR adapter, which is really nice to have. You get a USB-A to USB micro or mini. I always forget which one is micro and which one is mini. This is like the little flat one, but it will charge both devices from one USB-A cable. You get a handy little traveling pouch and you get a transmitter and you get a receiver. Now, as I've mentioned before on this channel, my wife and I, we play in an acoustic duo. We do a lot of like weddings, galas, corporate stuff. We did a stint on a cruise ship, which is really fun. We've pretty much always played with a floor wedge and we've recently been making the switch over to in-ears. And I think that this is gonna be a perfect device for us for a few reasons. The main one is actually just the cost. These are significantly cheaper than like the Sennheiser or Shure sort of body packs with the rack mount units. This is much more of like a consumer option. And I think for our needs, this is really the perfect device.
It's almost hard to hear because it's like so like,
in your face?
Yeah.
In your ears, I should say. So that's your mix. So you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Oh, like this whole thing that I'm seeing?
Yep.
Oh, I see.
Waiting for a love like this will be on my mind forever.
We sound so good.
It's so easy.
It's so easy to like stay in tune and like
Yeah.
lock in the harmony.
Hear your
with each
phrasing
other.
too.
Yeah.
Like, be on my mind. We just did a practice with these in for the first time. Thoughts?
It's like so easy and so fun to sing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always very critical.
You
of,
are
like,
very critical.
how I sound when I'm singing. And this, I feel like I actually sound good.
I think you always sound good.
Oh.
But yeah, it's nice because you get like that full experience. Like it's a weird thing to explain, but it's like we're in here in our basement with my daughter just playing with cars here. When we put these in, all of a sudden we're like transformed and it sounds really good. It actually makes you want to it makes you want to practice because it's like,
Yeah.
like Bailey just said, darn, this is so fun to sing like this. And it's true.
Well, it's because
we got like the effects on, we've got compression, reverb.
when it's easy to like sound good,
Yeah,
it makes it more fun.
totally.
Yeah.
Feels very easy. If you clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you're relatively new to in-ear monitor systems because this is kind of like an entry-level system. So I figured a good place to start would be talking about the pros and cons of using in-ears on stage versus floor wedges. So I've divided this up into a list of pros and cons. Let's start off with the pros. Pro number 1, you get a way cleaner signal when you're using in-ears. You're getting that signal sent direct from the board through cables into your skull. Pro number 2, you can actually have way quieter stage levels, which is much better for your ears. Because you're feeding this directly into your ears and in doing so, you're blocking out any external sounds, you can actually bring those levels down quite a bit, which is gonna preserve your ears over time, especially if you have like 100,000 people screaming and cheering for you while you play. Wouldn't that be cool? I'd love that. Pro number 3, it's a better experience with more control for your front of house engineer, which translates to a better experience for the audience. As the instruments start coming up, the monitor engineer starts bringing up the monitors too. Now all of a sudden you have this massive amount of volume coming from the stage that's going out into the audience. And this is before the front of house engineers even brought up the mains. This is just stage volume and there's a lot of it and it's not very articulate. It's got lots of low end and that's bleeding out into the audience. So having in-ear monitors frees up a whole bunch of stage volume. That way your front of house engineer has a lot more control. Pro number 4 of in-ear monitors, and one of my favorites, I show up to a gig with this. I don't know if you've ever tried to carry monitor wedges and amplifiers. This is pretty sick. Pro number 5, what are we on here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Pro number 5, you have a consistent mix regardless of where you are on stage. So whether you're on the drum riser, you're crowd surfing out in the audience, you're gonna have the exact same mix in your head. It's awesome. Pro number 6, if you're using a digital mixer, you get the exact same mix inside your head every single night. And pro number 7, you can have things inside of your head that you don't want the audience to hear. So this could be a click track, this could be a cue, this could be your sound guy saying, Randy, your guitar is giving me issues, can you check your cable? Okay, let's move over to the cons. Con number 1, it takes a long time to get used to playing with in-ears and it never really feels quite natural. There's a certain element that's a bit sort of it just separates you from what's happening on stage a little bit. It's a little bit too pure, and that can take a while to get used to. Con number 2, singing sounds really weird. Because you're used to sort of the conduction of your bones plus the acoustic sound coming in, singing with in-ears is a really weird experience. It takes a lot of practice too. And con number 3, this one's a little bit hard to explain, but like when you show up to a gig, it takes you a minute to sort of like get used to the mix on stage and like get used to how things sound and then sort of start blending with your fellow musicians. And I find it easier to do with floor wedges. Even with a bad mix, I can usually sort of like adapt to the scenario quicker than if I come in and try in-ears. In-ears just takes like a little bit more calibration per gig to feel comfortable with them. So I was testing these out at a gig a couple of months ago, and one of my musician buddies, Jesse Grandmont, he's like a freaking stupid good violin player. And he said, man, we've been using these on tour for like the past year. So I figured let's give him a call so he can share his real world experience of using them on the road. So I guess I have a two-part question. One, I'm curious to know the experience with them. And then the second part question is, why did you decide to upgrade?
Yeah, so Dallas had no issues with them at all. Like they were super solid for him. Like we didn't have any dropouts or anything like that. I mean, most of the time our ears were really close to where we were on the stage, like either at a monitor console or even like sometimes we'd just run a cable right in front of him.
Like right to your foot.
Yeah. He upgraded, and the reason why was just we were upgrading some of our stuff. We're looking to build like a splitter snake ears rack with like a rack mixer and all that stuff for our next run. So we have to go that direction anyway.
Right.
But and it was funny actually, when we got like Sennheiser rack units. When we first got them, like we were getting used to them and getting used to scanning and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know, I've never had issues with that other thing. Should I just go to that? Like I say, he never had any issues. And we were playing like everything from like really small, intimate, like listening rooms where we would have wedges, but he would want like his vocals in his ear. So he would do that.
Yeah.
To like 2,000, 3,000 person, like casino venues and stuff in
it's a good
Canada.
size.
And, yeah. Well, and the other thing is we don't tour with a sound guy right now. So having the ability to just control all our own ears and then send stuff out to the front of house is like going to make things a lot quicker.
Yeah. Now, what I really like about these units is they are incredibly simple to use. You basically just power on both units, make sure that they're both set to the exact same channel. In this case, they're on channel 1 out of 6. You got up to 6 channels, and that's it. You're good to go. It'll just start working, which is really, really awesome. Now, they say on the site that you get up to about 90 feet with these, but because these are the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, it's a pretty weak spectrum. So I would recommend getting the transmitter as close as you possibly can to you as you're performing. So I wouldn't recommend giving this to your front of house person way at the back of the room and then broadcasting that signal all the way to your waist. Instead, I would recommend having them run a return or like a monitor line, plug this into the return, ideally right below your feet. Now, something that I really love about these, but I also kind of hate about them at the same time, is that the batteries are built in. This is great because like the day before your gig, you just charge them up, you know you're gonna be good when you get to your gig. That's kind of nice. The downside of that is that if you forgot to charge them, you can't just run to a convenience store and pick up a pack of batteries. You can't swap them out mid-show if your batteries die. Those are things to consider. Usually it's not gonna be an issue if you just remember to charge them up, but something to think about. Now, they do transmit 24-bit 48 kilohertz audio, and in my experience, it's relatively clean. Sometimes it does get a little bit fuzzy depending on your situation. What I found though is that sending a lot of signal to these and then having your belt pack level as low as possible gives you the best sort of noise performance, so there isn't too much hiss in your ears while you're not playing. But with wireless units, you're gonna get a little bit of noise. It's just kind of the name of the game. To give you guys my final thoughts on the U4 system, I think that these are an awesome stepping stone between never using in-ear monitors. Like maybe you're a bar band and you've always been using floor wedges and you're just like, it's just the way it's been. You don't really want to get one of these fancy rack units with like all the different, antennas and antennae. I don't know what the word is for stereo or plural. Stereo for plural antennas. Anyways, so if you're in that stage, I think that this is a really good option for you, especially because of the price point too. Like in-ear units are typically like, there's nothing shy of like $700 for like a Shure or Sennheiser system. And then you're also getting into a lot more cumbersome system where there's like a rack and all that stuff too. So this sort of fills that market for anyone who thinks that might just be a little bit too much. Also, another huge advantage of these is like if you're a festival musician, you can show up and just patch these into a return really easily. The sound guy's not gonna hate you because he doesn't have to like pull cables out at his booth and like repatch things on his end. Oh, one other downside that I just thought of is that the thickness of them. They're just a tiny bit too thick to put side by side in a lot of patch bays. So 2 times now I've tried to plug in 2 into a patch bay and they couldn't sit side by side. So you might need a little XLR, little 6-inch cable just to kind of droop this off the back. That's so small, that's nitpicky, but something to think about. Anyways, I hope you found this useful, fun, entertaining, all that stuff. If you have any questions about using in-ears or any different systems, I've used the Shure systems, the Sennheiser system, so I have quite a bit of experience using a variety of these. Hit me up in the comments below, be happy to answer any questions. All right, later.